Hi guys, today I'm just going to run through a few things on Core Plus, one of my favorite subjects because, wow, the more I immerse myself in it, the more fired up I am about what's in store for you and for all of us. You know, Deidre and I have been in this business for quite some time. We've seen Amway come up with some amazing incentives over the years, but never ever seen them throw hundreds of millions of dollars at something like this, which goes 100% into your pockets and every IBO's pockets that's actually building this business properly. So now, if you go to the Amway website, there's a lot of information on Core Plus. There's also some video modules you can find on Core Plus that Amway's produced, which are very, very good. I'm going to come at it from a slightly different angle, from how to build it and why we build it this way. But the more you see of the Amway side of things, the more you understand about this. A lot of this you're going to go, yeah, I've kind of heard that, but I'm just going to go through slightly different angles and just do a couple of different videos so that hopefully it helps you to look at it from different ways and understand what you're trying to do. You know, probably the most frustrating thing as a leader in this business is when you see people who join this business, have a go at this business, and don't succeed at this business, when in fact they actually were doing the right things. It was actually working. They just didn't give it enough space, you know. And it's like anything. It's like going to the gym twice in a week and then expecting everything to change. It just doesn't work that way, and this business doesn't work that way, and nothing long-term works that way. And what I love about Core Plus is how it fits into the Network 21 system. And if you haven't yet watched on N21 Mobile the Core Plus video that I did, which explains conceptually what we're trying to do here, and I'm going to go into a little bit more detail there today and explain how we build into it. But if you haven't watched that, please go back and watch that, because it'll sort of give you some other conceptual details. But the important thing is that Core Plus is a direction. And right from the 9% level, right through to Founders Crown Ambassador, there's increased income. All of that increased income says, hey, we want you to be profitable, and we're going to multiply you when you're profitable. The more profitable you are, the more profitable you'll be. I kind of like the sound of that formula, don't you? So it's pretty exciting when you actually understand Amway has geared this to, you got to build it profitably. And when you build it profitably, we're going to multiply that profitability and blow your head off, okay? So that's pretty exciting. Now, the important thing is, I'm going to talk about today, especially, and in the future we'll get into more detail, but talk today about setting up that foundation. And that foundation is based on Pacesetter, and I'll go through that in a second, all right? I want to explain that. But you know, my background is structural engineering, and yeah, you can. I don't know, every time I see a skyscraper, I marvel at it, or I see a bridge, I think it's pretty cool when you know what goes into that. But whether it's a massive skyscraper and all you can see is the end result, the foundation is critical. You know, the other stuff that happens is vital to the building. It's vital. You know, what happens beyond the foundation is vital. All I'm talking about today effectively is the foundation, and talking about sponsoring Frontline, which is the foundation to your business and your long-term profitability, okay? So super duper critical to understand. Just talking foundation today, there's a lot more nuances to this business. It's not just a black and white science. I mean, it's an art form with a science. It involves people, and that's the good news and the bad news, and everybody's different, but the principles remain the same. Amway's been around over 60 years, and the principles have remained the same, okay? So we just want to be careful we understand the foundation, and I'm going to go through that in a tick, just so you understand how that all works. But what I love about Pacesetter, and this is Pacesetter, so you, a Pacesetter, if this is you, and you've introduced two people, then you are a Pacesetter, okay? You are on CEP and you've done 100 points. So when you're building an organization, I mean, you need to lead the way, but what are you trying to duplicate? If you're duplicating Pacesetter, that means you're duplicating people doing 100 points, and you're duplicating people that are on N21 Mobile, on CEP, which means you've got some people that are getting inspired, getting educated, learning how to operate this business. So very, very exciting as a unit, but that unit itself is what duplicates. Now, what I love about Core Plus is the way it builds up to Ruby as a massive profitable structure. And Ruby is like the hinge point to a really big business, but it's a lead up to a really profitable business. At the same time, it's the gateway to a big emerald and diamond business and massive freedom. So Ruby will provide you a really, really big income, but also a foundation for a bigger incomes and more stability and emerald and diamond, and that's what that represents. So Pacesetter is a consistency thing. And again, like the going to the gym analogy, what if we talk about Pacesetter for 24 months? That's what it'll take to set up a Ruby business. Okay, so I want to begin with kind of your medium term, begin with the end in mind. You know, what are you focused on building a Ruby business? If you've done Pacesetter for 24 months, okay, that's not easy. Getting up, exercising half an hour a day, an hour a day, whatever it is, 45 minutes a day, 15 minutes a day, every single day for 24 months, not easy, okay? Pacesetter, that's a monthly target, that's a calendar month. You sponsor 2 people, easy the first month, probably the second month, maybe even for a few months for some of you. But at some point it becomes where to do that deliberately, like exercising every day, eating well, anything you do, taking your supplements, anything you do consistently is going to be tough, all right? But anything worthwhile is tough. I mean, building good relationships is tough, but it takes time and focus. Building good health is tough, but it takes time and focus. Everything, building your financial well-being and security is tough. It takes long-term discipline. Nothing happens overnight that's worthwhile. So Pacesetter though, 24 months is pretty overnight when you look at the results. Obviously, 2 people a month for 24 months is 48, okay? But I'm saying Pacesetter or more. I mean, I'm assuming there are some months you're doing more than Pacesetter, for goodness sakes. If you're going to average Pacesetter every single month, so we will say that'll mean you've got 50 to 60 people on your front line, okay? So your front line looks like this. Not quite, but you've got a bunch of people that have joined you, okay? So what does that mean? What can you expect? Now, when you sponsor 2 people, and you've got 2 people on your front line, month 1, okay. Month 2, you got 4 people, or 5 if you've done more, okay, great. Month 3, you got 6 people, or 7 or 8 if you've done more, great, all right. But fast forward this, and just the value of consistency, 50 or 60 is a lot, okay. But what can you expect? Again, we know, because this business has been around a while, 20 or 30 are going to quit. 20 or 30, nearly half of them are going to quit, all right? That's exciting, aren't you glad you came? And then you've got 10, you've got kind of 3 groups of 10. 10 that will actually do less than 3%. What does that mean? That means they're probably not even using the product. I mean, they may renew, they may buy the occasional thing, they might just get the phone plan. Goodness knows what it means. People do interesting things, all right? There's got another 10 here that will do between 3 and 6%. So those are people that are maybe got a little team, or they actively using the product, or occasionally they'll introduce someone, but certainly not someone who's building a team, trying to get ahead, scoring goals, okay? And these other group here, that's the framework of your real business. These people are 9% and above, all right? And that's really where the bulk of your results come from, the bulk of your income comes from. What that would mean for that structure to be Ruby is, out of this, you would have 7 teams that are 9%, you'd have 2 teams that are 12%, and 1 team that's 15%. And that would make up more than 15,000 points. Now, there's a lot of ways you can make up 15,000 points. What I'm leading up to with all of this and all the subsequent videos and conversation here is, if you set it up properly, keep going, keep going, keep going, you're likely to end up with that structure, and that structure will give you over $10,000 a month. Okay? Over. And I'll explain how we get there, and if you're not yet familiar with Core Plus. But Core Plus, the big factor all the way through profitability, but Ruby is the hinge point. That's what Ruby looks like. We'll probably revisit the subject. Beyond that, when you've got this number of teams set up, 10 teams that are 9% and above, wow, that's exciting. That's a number of people that could go on to 21%, that could go on to platinum and beyond. Why? Because these guys now are engaging in the Core Plus bonuses, which I'm about to go through for the rest of this. So very, very exciting, okay? Now, all of this comes from predictable numbers. And when you sponsor 20 people on your front line, there's a rule you'll hear about, 20-12-8-3. Out of 20 people, 8 are going to quit immediately. So out of 20 people, only 12 will remain. 20, 12, 8, 3. Only 12 will remain. Out of the 12 remaining, only 8 will do anything. Okay? Just another way of explaining this. So 4 will kind of sit there, do nothing for a while, and maybe not even last. And out of the 8 remaining, 3 will build a business. Okay? With your help. Now, you've attempted to get everybody started properly, but that's what the end result is. Out of trying to get everyone started properly, out of 20 people, getting them started properly, 3 will actually become business builders. It may not even be the people you introduce. It could be somebody through them. So the whole mechanism of building a team and getting duplication and all of that is a big subject. But we're just talking about setting up that foundation and why the stepping stones we're going to go through are so critical to get it right. So even your first step is critical if you understand what the 10th step is. You know what I mean? You want to head in the right direction, okay? So I'm just going to go through now, what really does it look like? Here you are. Here's the starting point for you. And obviously I'm not an artist, but here's what we're talking about by way of the end result in the short term, okay? And from Ruby, so that's the big hinge point from Ruby, we've talked about, okay, from there, you've got a number of great teams that you can go on to Emerald and Diamond and beyond. But the stepping stones now, and why we want to head into a direction that makes sense, 9% is the first big stepping stone. And we want to set that up correctly because that's where the bonuses start. If you set up 9% correctly, you'll earn a 30% multiplier. So your profitability will be multiplied by 30%. That's completely new, a 30% pay rise. But it pays to set it up correctly, and that's what we're going to go through. Out of that, so that's 9%, 15% is the next significant level. And that's not to forget Leaders Club Plus. In the whole Network 21 array of levels, I love Leaders Club Plus. Because Leaders Club, getting to Leaders Club is a very, very vital step, but chances are your upline's helped you quite a lot. Leaders Club Plus is do more of the same, keep going, and it puts you on track. But 15% is where the next money comes from Core Plus, okay? So we're just talking about Core Plus today, but it doesn't mean that I'm not fired up about Leaders Club Plus. Here we are with a 15% structure. If it's set up the right way, you will earn an additional 40% multiplier. Your profitability will be multiplied by 40%. Wow, okay, pretty exciting. And then the next big step in the Core Plus program is 21%. At the 21% level, there is an extra 2% which goes straight in your pocket on a very big volume at 21%, all right? When you've got a large 21%, like 11,500 points, it will add 4% in your pocket, and Ruby will add 6%. So we'll come back and discuss these in a bit more detail, but the point is, what are we trying to do here? We're not just trying to go 9%, we're not just trying to go to a certain level, we're trying to set up, trying to reach a level. Why? A good structure so you get the profitability at 9%, yes, but also so you get to 15% easier, better, quicker. Why? Because for the money, yeah, absolutely, there's heaps more money there. But so we get to 21% easier, quicker, better. Why? Because there's more money there? Absolutely, there's more money there. But why? Because we want to get to Ruby bigger, quicker, faster. Okay, why? Because there's more money there? Yeah, and beyond, there's a lot more, okay? So it's just the direction that we're trying to get into, and I'm just passionate about people understanding this business. The more you study it, the more beautiful it really is. You get to understand the differentials, get to understand all of that, and we'll go into that. And all of this is the, how to set it up part of it. Obviously, your desire, your belief, your conviction, what do you really want, is all absolutely critical, all right? But if you don't know where you're going or what you've got to do, it makes it really hard to connect the dots on what do you want and how to get it, all right? So all I'm trying to do here today is to lay out what do you got to do to get it, and what do you got to do to get it in a way that sets you up to get more and benefit more. So if you put effort into the right areas to set up the right things. Build the right foundation, the right structure, so that you can have a real skyscraper income-wise, all right? So we'll come back and discuss a bit more on the rest of it, but just kind of where to get the whole concept of where we're trying to go, and help you to set up your thinking a bit to get to the first step properly, all right? And we'll catch you soon on the next one.